We are here. We are here. Welcome back to the Coach's Huddle. It's your boy, the Coach, where the field meets family. We got another cover two. It's Monday. You know what time it is. I got my boy Jesse, and there's so much to talk about. But first, my boy Jesse from Last Second Sports. How are you doing, Jess? What's going on, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic, Coach. Love that we are doing this on Mondays. It just happens to fall perfect because guess what? Free agency is officially upon us. Well, I guess not official like a referee whistle,
Man,
but
it's here.
It's here. It's here. You know what? My favorite thing was like, new league rules allow during the legal tampering period calls to players now, which is pretty cool. It's like, bro, how is it as soon as the time comes, we've got signing after signing after signing if they weren't talking. It's like just through osmosis, they figured this out, that this was the deal they wanted. Come on,
dude,
man. It's so stupid.
I love the fact that they finally put something in place to get rid of all of this posturing. All right. The 1 hour call period that you have and one Zoom meeting with one free agent and whatever. All right. Look, let's get into it, man. You know what time it is. I know what time it is. The 49ers and Mike Evans agreed to a deal ending its 12-year run with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 3 years, over $60 million, 60.4. It comes out to about $20 million a year. Initial thoughts.
Oh, man. I'm conflicted on this one because obviously I live in Tampa. I know how good of a dude Mike Evans is. I know how much he means to the fan base here, to the Bucks. They're gutted. They love Mike Evans. Absolutely love him. He's he is the equivalent if George Kittle next offseason was cut or something and then signed with a new team and finished his career. Like 49er fans would be gutted by that. It's George Kittle. He's been here his whole career. He means so much to the community. He's a pillar of it. That's exactly what Mike Evans is. Mike Evans, I remember a couple years ago, I started making the case. I'm like, listen, man, Mike Evans is starting to enter top 10 receiver of all time territory. Like he's getting close.
I distinctly remember you having that conversation.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I love Mike Evans, but Coach, I love Mike Evans signing to a team that makes sense. And the 49ers are not that team. The 49ers are A, not on the verge of winning a Super Bowl. B, they need to get younger. They need to get cheaper. Mike Evans does none of those things. Mike Evans is 33 years old in August, coming off of by far his worst season. And you can say, well, he was injured this year. What do you expect? It doesn't matter. His yards per catch were down by 3 yards, according to his normal average. And if you were to take his 8 games he played and roll that out over a 17-game season, his numbers would have been identical to Keenan Allen, who, by the way, is the exact same age as Mike Evans. If we signed Keenan Allen today to a 3-year deal worth $60 million, 49er fans would be hot. Like, what are you doing? He's old. He's washed. Guess what? Welcome to Mike Evans. They're the exact same player at this stage in their career based off of what we saw last season. Mike Evans is not getting younger. And the way that he won throughout his career is by taking the top off. Do you think that's going to continue to happen as he ages? I don't know, man. I don't like it. I don't like it for the 49ers. If the Rams, let's say, or I don't know, the Bills, the Ravens, if they had signed Mike Evans, I could understand it. But for the 49ers, where they are at, I don't like it, man. I don't like it.
So let's get rid of the obvious first. He's old. He's injured. He's coming off of a 8-game season, missing 9. Of the 8 games that he played, we're looking at 368 yards receiving off of 3 total touchdowns. Utilized at 31.5% of the offensive snaps that year. And of the 8 games that he played, 3 of them he was inactive. The 8 games that he was available, 3 of them he was inactive, should I say. We don't have a number one receiver. Okay?
No.
Currently constructed pre-Mike Evans, okay? We don't have an X. The Niners need to get younger. The Niners need to get faster. But we also need to get cheaper. The $27 million that was due to Brandon Ayuk for his guaranteed money this year is coming out of the 20 that's going to go to Mike Evans. He's not going to last the 3 years, okay? By many reports, this is not a 3-year deal. This is more of maybe 2 years, hopefully, okay? So he's a bridge. Is it anticlimactic? No. I think that the Niners are the only problem with this, Jesse, is that the premise of this signing is wrong. If the premise of this signing is the Niners are trying to go win a Super Bowl, I hate this move. This does not do it for all of the reasons presently stated, right? He's old. He's injured. He's past his prime, all right? We're paying $20 million for a guy that we may not even know if we're going to get a full season out of, let alone him playing multiple years. All of that matters. But having a bridge, all right, to be able to hold down the spot, we automatically have a red zone threat when healthy, all right? I'm being honest, okay? So I'm not going to go through all this litany of sugar plums and lollipops without, being honest, right? Because we got to take integrity here. So he's going to be the best red zone threat at receiver that we have, right?
For sure.
Okay. Also, we're forgetting that we lost the best red zone threat and we had in the first and second option in George Kittle and Jawan Jennings. I don't trust Ricky Pearsall in the red zone. I don't know what you've seen. I haven't seen it, right? Jordan Watkins, we'll figure it out. I don't know. If you're keeping the premise that the Niners are rebuilding, this is on par. This type of signing is on par, right? Where we're in year 2 of a Super Bowl run. No, year 3. We're going in year 3 of being removed from a Super Bowl. And right now, we're in the throes of grinding some demons, man. Going to an organ grinder and exercising some demons, man. Trent's walking. All right. Now, we can talk about that later, but that's happening in the background. I believe that this signing is trash if you are a fan that's saying, man, we got another guy that's going to push us over the hump. We're going to the playoffs. This is a guy that's going to be utilized. They can't stop us now. Yeah, then I'd say you're misguided, right? And you're a bit naive and you're being a little bit facetious, all right? However, if you're looking at this and saying to yourself, hey, man, this is somebody that not only is going to give us time on task, he's not going to be utilized as heavy. Hopefully, what we get out of Mike Evans can rub off on some of the guys that we have in the room currently. And he could be somebody that could be a bridge and kind of a wet nurse, if you will, to get a young core ready to go. And they've already cut their teeth on watching a Mike Evans and having more rookies come in here to watch Mike Evans. And there's precedence for this. Emmanuel Sanders, when he came in here with Deebo Samuel and taught him how to be a pro receiver, right? There is something to be said about the core where they give us more equity than just what they do on the field. It's setting the standard. It's practicing like a pro. It's having a different expectation. And to be honest with you, I don't know when we've had that in the receiving room for quite some time. Deebo wasn't a leader. BA, we already know that the story is out. All right. We basically had to worry about Jawan while he wanted to get his money. All right. So I think that not only is Mike Evans good in a sense that he's a bridge and we're trying to get a solid guy at X for the right money, right? For the right money. We didn't break the bank with them. The money made me immediately change my tune on how I felt about it. Because I tweeted, I said, I'm not thrilled by this. Immediate. That was just my initial reaction. Not impressed. But for what they're trying to do, all right, to try to hold over, to be able to get more guys in, and hopefully we can get receivers that come in and take over that role, then I see where this is going. And then also, we're not done. We got draft. Free agency is still out there, right? I'm not trying to say that we'll go as hard as doubling down and go get a Romeo Dobbs or something like that, but I don't want to just go full blown negative. Like, I don't get it. This is the Niners trying to pull the wool over the fans' eyes, and I don't think that that's the track. I think that this is on par with what they're trying to do based on the perspective and what you look at and how you see the team. If you think we're going to go chase a Super Bowl, then yeah, I could see people being incredibly furious with this move. Like, this ain't it. But if you understand that it's not our time. Hey, faithful.
Do you think Mike Evans just signed his the final year or final deal of his career with a team that didn't sell him on trying to win a Super Bowl? You think that that's real? Of course they're trying to win a Super Bowl. Of course,
I got something for that.
Of course he thinks that.
I can respond to that. I have no problem responding to that. I did a little bit of recruiting in my day. Okay? And let me tell you this, Jesse. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. You tell them recruits everything that they need to know. The parties is popping. The calf got the best food. This is the softest bed. And these are going to be your dorms. Once they sign and they say, hey, this isn't my room. No. You're down in the shacks and the apartments down there. Hey, what happened to the fried chicken in the... No. It's bologna sandwiches, brother. I'll see you at 8, though. Practice. All right, I'll see you at warm-ups. I get that he wants to come over here and try something new and be able to be in the mix. And you know what? If you get in the tournament, anything is possible. I understand that. And if you get used in a new offense, there's going to be new wrinkles and the possibilities are endless for you. But my man, you got paid to play football. You did not get paid for guaranteed wins. All right? Like, you got to... I mean, what's Mike Evans going to do? Be disgruntled? I didn't know Brock Purdy couldn't throw this far. You didn't know that, Mike? Really? You're surprised?
Listen, I understand, like, the positives are they didn't spend a lot of money. They're not locked into him, obviously, super long term. Do I prefer him to the likes of Jennings and Debo? Yes, I do. Those are all the positives. It's the leftover money from Brandon Ayuk. However you want to spin it. But it's hard for me to look at a team that clearly needs offensive line and might need it more than ever because who knows what's going on with Trent Williams.
Right.
And see guys like David Edwards, who's a good guard, signed for 4 years, $61 million. And Isaac Samalo just signed with the Cardinals for 3 years, $31 million. I mean, I would have much rather taken that leftover Ayuk money and spent it on a premium position of guys that have a chance to actually be here when the 49ers are truly competitive and trying to win a Super Bowl. Go to 718 real quick. I want to bring up this comment.
Okay.
From Tab Du Chateau 5781. It's 718. He says, Evans is a beast if he stays healthy. Stop complaining. Brother, such is life for the whole 49ers organization. Ooh, you got your dogs whining.
Go.
Hannibal's pissed. It's like, pay attention
he sees somebody outside. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. My bad.
But he says Evans is a beast. If he stays healthy, stop complaining. Okay. Well, listen, when he doesn't stay healthy or he gets 700 yards this year, then let's remember this comment because he's 33 years old now. Evans, the receiver, the name, absolute beast, Hall of Famer, entering top 10 territory potentially. Love Mike Evans, but this is not the same Mike Evans that we're talking about. Once again, he hasn't been healthy for quite a few years. And also, you add in the fact that last year when he did play, he was a shell of himself. Like, he was not the same Mike Evans. There was a clear drop-off. And this is the 49ers organization. You can say that about every single... The reason the 49ers weren't great this year or didn't win a Super Bowl is because they didn't stay healthy. If they had Fred Warner and Nick Bosa, it's like, yeah, well, attrition is a part of the league. And when you have a team that tends to stay injured, I don't know, signing a 33-year-old with hamstring issues probably isn't ideal. Like, you've got to play out what is most likely to happen. And what's most likely to happen is Mike Evans is not going to play the full season. He's not going to be a near 1,000-yard receiver. It just is what it is. By name, Mike Evans is a beast. But 33-year-old Mike Evans with multiple hamstring injuries and clearly losing a step last year, yeah, I don't know that guy's a beast anymore. But I'll stop complaining, I guess.
Look, I understand that, there's a lot of fans whose connection to their team has to do with an escape, right? And you don't want there to be trouble or problems in your escape, right? But, reality sometimes just seeps into all aspects of your life, buddy. And you got to realize that I think that Mike Evans is going to be an asset for us, right? This is what I don't want. I don't want what he can do for us to be completely missed just because it's not an ideal signing, right? So can we chew bubblegum and walk at the same time? Can that be true? Can two things be right at the same time where, hey, it may not be an ideal signing, but there is a lot that Mike Evans can bring to this team that we haven't had in quite some time. Could that be true?
Yeah, for sure. Yes, he does.
Yeah. So for me, I'd rather lean on that side because, I feel like all of the problems that you see with it, it's almost kind of like a disclaimer, like you gotta say it. Right? He's already signed. He's going to play. Nobody's wishing for an injury. Nobody wants him to be bad. Nobody wants him to look like he's 33 years old out there. But these are all the things that have to be said, right? But once you say them, if you harp on them, then it's a whole different thing, in my opinion, right? So I feel like we got it out of our system. He's going to be 33. He's coming off injuries. He's had the worst season of his career last year. All right? You happy? It's out there now. What can he do for us now? If he's healthy, he's the best X we've had in years. Challenge that, Jess.
He's not better than Brandon Ayuk was a couple of years ago.
I think he was, bro. Let's go back and look at it. So Mike Evans, you want to go back a couple years? How many years you want to go back?
I'm saying this current version of Mike Evans is not better than 3 years
Oh,
ago.
okay, yeah, this current version.
Ayuk.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I'll give you that. But hold on, I hate to do this to you, but what current version of Brandon Ayuk are you talking about now?
So you're saying this is the best X, but your statement was this was the best X we've had in a while. Meaning,
yeah, like what I'm saying
right
is that
yes, right now on this team, he is the best X that we have. Yeah, but 100%.
What I'm saying is that
in a
since
while,
Brandon
Ayuk was just the X.
Hold on, let me say this. Let me say this. Since Brandon Ayuk has been hurt, what was that? 3 years ago now? 2 years ago now? Mm-hmm. This is the best X receiver that we have on this roster.
Oh, that's factual. Yes, I agree with that. Yes.
Yeah, and for $20 million, he's going to be the cheapest at that position. Sans, what's our boy that got suspended for 3 games? Demarcus Robinson, right? So I want to see what he looks like in the offense. I want to see what Kyle has cooked up for him. He's galvanized to be here. We need him. We don't even know if George is going to be back week 1. Okay, so as far as the receiving game is concerned, we really do need him. All right, and I'm very interested to see how these boys play around him. Groups, this is one thing that people, I feel like is missed on football, is that the reason why the guys practice in groups is not just for uniformity, but there's groups because of guys playing off of each other, just like in the offensive line. The only difference is that the offensive line, they get to play literally right next to each other. That's it. All right. Everybody else plays in the same type of group mentality. So the same way we could say that Trent Williams at 32 years old, 33 years old, whatever, however old he is at his age, somebody who, if he was hurt and got added to an offensive line, if he was attached to younger guys who have talent, who need somebody in the room to show them the way, how to be a pro, how to be able to handle situations, get through a season, have a sense of standard. Yes, we will be talking about this like the left tackle of that situation. Yeah, he's old, but dude, if they keep him healthy, he could really elevate that entire offensive line. All of them could be playing better. I see that in the same way of Mike Evans. If Mike Evans comes in here and he can stay healthy, which is a big if, so I'm not just going to roll over that, but he can be a real effect on Ricky Pearsall. He could be an effect on Jordan Watkins, on a Jacob Cowing. He can be an effect. I want to see what that we need guys like this to help us usher in what is going to be the new 49ers in another 2 seasons. All of these guys are transitioning out right now. So we already understand that we're in transition. Right now, all of this matters under the premise that you think the 49ers are rebuilding. But if you think the 49ers are going for a Super Bowl, then we can sit here and talk and shit on this trade and shit on this signing for another hour because it doesn't fit at all if you're looking at the Niners going to a Super Bowl.
No, I actually disagree.
Or being competitive.
If the 49ers were a Super Bowl ready team, I would love this signing. It would make a lot of sense. But the fact that this team isn't ready to win this year, I think that they're just wasting time with a guy like Mike Evans. It's not just the injury. By the way, it's not just because Mike Evans got injured last year. There are 2 things at play, and 49er fans need to realize this. Not only does he have to stay healthy, which that's a crapshoot in itself, all right? He played 14 games 2 years ago, 8 games last year, but he needs to not be old, which last year his career average is 15.1 yards per reception. Last year, he was 12.3, which was significantly the worst of his career by multiple yards, by the way. Okay. The year prior was his worst, and then last year was even worse, which tells you age is starting to catch up to him. And then when you go to his yards per game, significant margin, his worst of his career, 10 yards per game under his career average. And then his yards per target, his career average is 8.7. Last year, he averaged 5.9, which is 2.5 yards less than his second worst season. There's a clear decline in Mike Evans last year, not just from an injury aspect, but from a can he be a productive receiver in this league? Age seemingly has caught up to him, and that is shown by his decline 2 years running now on top of being injured. So it's not just can he stay healthy, you're getting Mike Evans. It's like, no. Can he roll back the clock and stay healthy? That's a big bet by the 49ers, in my opinion.
I don't believe that, man. I think that if you're hurt, you're hurt. You know what I mean? Like, I understand the drop-off while he played, but I also mentioned that of the 8 games while he was available, 3 games, he was just a healthy scratch. All right, he was clearly laboring that back injury and those hamstring injuries getting through the year. So even when he's good, that's like having George Kittle come back off of his ACL by week 1 and expecting it to be George Kittle, and then scrutinizing the first half of his season as he limps through 8 games and then finally misses the rest of the season. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just think that if you're injured, right, going through the numbers and looking at the production, right, on the back of being in your 30s is going to be problematic. But at the same time, he's healthy. He's got to pass a physical to get with the Niners. And at the same time, just like, I hear that he's old, but he's a stopgap. He's a bridge.
He wasn't a healthy scratch in 3 of those games. He started in 8 games and played in 8 games. Like,
no, let me get to it. Hold on. Continue while I look for it, though.
I'm looking at it right now. I've got his game logs up.
I have his game logs up.
And before he was injured, by the way, These were the 3 games to start the season. Mm-hmm. Ready? 51 yards, 56 yards, 33 yards, 1 total touchdown. Averaging a little over 9 yards per catch.
Week 4 was?
Week 4, that's where he had 4
He was
targets
active and had
injured.
all zeros.
That's when he got injured. He had 4 targets, and then he played. Then week 5, he had 12 targets. Week 6, 9 targets. Week 7, or excuse me, not week 7. Week 14 had 12 targets. That's when he came back. Week 15 had 9 targets. Week 16 had 7 targets, and week 17 had 2 targets. He had 1 game where he left early because of his injury. That's it. The rest of the games he played full time.
Hold on. Then I must have been mistaken.
So, I mean, there's a clear decline and he had a broken collarbone. It was a broken bone. He came back and first game back had 12 that was, in fact, his first game back was his best game of his season by far. 12 targets, 6 catches, 132 yards. And then it was 31 yards, 31 yards, 34 yards.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying he's declining even if we take the injury out of it. He's got to stay healthy and roll back the clock. That's what we're betting on. I'm betting against that.
You're ticking me off, bro. You're ticking me off, bro.
I'm just saying.
Because what is your, so what would you have rather done?
Whoever you sign has got to fit the bill to be a part of this team when you are when you're a true Super Bowl contender. I don't want to continue to bring in aging players who are not going to be a part of the actual rebuild. Mike Evans isn't going to be here when this team's going to be competitive. So why bring him in? Super Bowl competitive.
Hold on, wait a minute. Because like you are just inconsolable right now. Let me slow this down for a second. What do you mean he's not going to be here for when the team is finally better? Jesse, it's a 2-year deal. We're paying remarkably less money for a receiver at $20 million a year than we would have paid for anybody else that we would bring in at X. We actually have to bring him in because we may have to eat a $38 million dead cap hit from Trent Williams if we don't pay him, or we have to release him, or we trade him, or whatever we do with him. So why are you, let me ask you this. Why are you looking at this move in a vacuum?
Because I'm looking at one of the things that you asked me this early on this offseason, right? When we did the whole super fan, negative fan, positive fan thing, that whole bit, right? When we did that show, you asked me for what the plan was. And at that time I said, hey, I haven't looked through free agency yet. I can't, give all that to you. We'll talk about that in a future episode. But one thing I could have told you, and I would have been very consistent with and have been now for multiple off seasons, is the players that you sign need to be younger players. You need to get younger and you need to get faster, not older and slower. That is not what the 49ers need. They don't need a 33-year-old wide receiver. Let me ask you this. If the 49ers had signed Keenan Allen today for a 3-year deal, $60 million, or 2-year deal, because they can get out after 2 years and only pay a minimal penalty, how ecstatic would you be? Would you have been just as positive?
Yeah, I would have said not thrilled. The same way. Like I've been. This is one thing. See, I got your ass. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Because the chat.
I got your ass now. I got your ass now.
You're super positive. Yeah, please do that. Go ahead.
I got your ass now. I've been waiting on this shit. I got your ass now.
Do it. Go.
Because I knew that there was a possibility that the whole negative fan and positive fan energy was going to pop up in this debate. And I prefaced my take with, this is all about perspective. If you think the Niners are going to win a Super Bowl, all right, then this would be a horrible move. If you think the Niners are a player away and this makes us competitive, then I could see why you think this move is bad. I also said all of the negative stuff first. I said, look, he's old. The numbers are down. All of the stuff that you chopped me down on, I already brought that up. You meticulously got me, corrected me on the 3 games, got me together. Okay. I brought up all of that. But I also said, if you're looking at this from a rebuild perspective, I understand this. This is a bridge. Not only is it a competent move, it's a cheap move. And it's no move. There's nothing about this move that says that the Niners think that they have their X receiver to see into the future and that they're really going to build the offense around him. Everybody's talking about this deal is basically a severance package. This is it for Mike Evans. And everybody here knows it. So you can't get me on the whole thrill thing because I did not say I'm thrilled about this.
Okay, I brought up the negative fan, positive fan to bring back to the whole point of consistency, which is on my part, which is I just want the 49ers to build off of youth. You talked about it. I talked about it. We came from different aspects, but we talked about how building through the draft and building through youth is the way to go. This does not do that. And I disagree with you in the sense that if the 49ers truly were Super Bowl ready now or trying to be, Mike Evans would be a fantastic signing. I would love Mike Evans if I was the Ravens or the Bills or the Rams or the Seahawks. I think that's a very smart move because he can possibly give you that 1 year, especially along other weapons, and help put you over the top. But for a team that is young and already can't find a way to get young receivers onto the field, signing Mike Evans doesn't help you build those guys up and see what you have in a Watkins or a Cowing or those types of players, because he's going to play when he's healthy. You signed him to do that. So why am I going to put in an effort into a Mike Evans who I know for a fact is not going to be here in 2 seasons when you are truly trying to win, when I can at least kick the tires on younger players either throughout the league or on your own roster to see what I have when we are trying to make that push for a Super Bowl run. That is my whole point.
Okay. So, number one, let me just answer a couple of your questions. Bringing in Mike Evans doesn't make us younger, but it does make us cheaper. So you can't get everything that you want, all right? Bringing in a younger guy, we don't know what the market was for younger guys or a Romeo Dobbs or what essentially he's going to get paid down the line, all right? So the Niners struck for money that they already had allocated and they used it. So that's one side of it. Also, we don't have any young X's that are like burning to get on the field. None of those guys are X's. We literally need the position. We're not. Mike Evans coming here and playing X is suppressing no young guys playing time, being a receiver. None of them. Jacob Cowing, Jordan Watkins, Ricky Pearsall, all of those young cats can still get funk with Mike over there holding down that X spot. The problem is Mike Evans gives us something that I don't think that I've heard you mention since we've been on the live, which is continuity. We don't have any veteran leadership at the position. We don't have anybody that we can trust at that position. We really don't. So
go get DeAndre Hopkins for a third of the price if you need a veteran in the room.
That's the choice that you want. You know what I mean? You just don't like Mike Evans when you're saying that. But I'm just saying that
I love Mike Evans. I've just told you how I've been in Tampa and I understand. Like, again, this team doesn't need veteran leadership. They've got the veterans on the team. I don't care if it's a different position or not. But you can go get, if you really feel like you need that in the receiver room, there are other guys you can go get for sure 1 year deals at a fraction of the cost that are the same age. You could have went and got a Keenan Allen, I guarantee it, for a 1 year deal if you really wanted to. If that's what you're looking for, Keenan Allen, who, by the way, same age, same production, you could have gotten on a 1 year deal to be a stopgap for a season until you figured it out next offseason, if that's what you really wanted.
I don't want Keenan Allen as a stopgap. Ugh. Like, come on, you ain't even got no swag.
That's the point.
Like,
That's the same player. They're the same player at this point in
but
their
I like
career.
Mike Evans better than Keenan Allen. I think
because
I
why?
think,
Because
I think
of a
Mike
name?
Evans is better player than Keenan Allen.
He's not
I can't
right
think
now.
that.
That's my. Thank you, and I'm glad. This whole full circle thing. When I said, "How would you have felt about Keenan Allen?" I just put you all the way together. Do you know that if I was to take Mike Evans' season that he just had last year and put it over a 17-game season, his numbers within 5 yards would have been Keenan Allen's season. Did you know that him and Keenan Allen are the same age? Keenan Allen also a big time receiver at one point in his career. Let's not forget that. So they're the same player essentially, but you're not excited about Keenan Allen, and you shouldn't be. So why are you excited about Mike Evans?
I didn't say I was excited. I said I preferred Mike Evans over Keenan Allen. You keep trying to do these Freudian slips and it's not working.
So you prefer
I said I prefer Mike Evans. I said I prefer Mike Evans over Keenan Allen. I didn't say that I was excited over Mike Evans.
Why do you prefer him on a 3-year deal compared to a 1-year deal of the same exact player, essentially?
Again, it's not a 3-year deal. It's a 2-year deal, essentially. All right. And it's a stopgap deal. And I like what Mike Evans can bring to the offense. I like Mike Evans. I think that Mike Evans is a future Hall of Famer. I think that he's a solid player. He's got a lot of time on task. He's going to bring something onto our team that basically nobody in our receiver room has seen before. All right. And it's basically a 2-year deal. I'm not tripping over it. And it's for $20 million a year, bro. It's not even crazy money, Jesse.
How much dead money are they taking on when they cut him in 2 years? Because I don't even know the details.
I have to see that. I don't know that.
Because I don't think it's been released. So how do we know it's essentially a 2-year deal? And when we say that, we know they're going to take on some dead money. All right? We know that for a fact.
Well, we're the dead money Niners. You can't get over that, baby. We're the 1099ers, baby. We're going to take some dead money. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to do anything. We're going to take on some dead money, baby.
And you said, hey, let's not it's only $20 million. You know how much? You want to know how much Keenan Allen counted towards the cap last year?
What? A ham sandwich and a bag of Fritos?
What? $5.2 million.
Oh, yes.
So you would rather have Mike
shrewd.
Evans 2 years, $20 million per, or you could have Keenan Allen for 1 year, same player essentially at this stage in his career because they're the same age with the same production at a fourth of the price. But you don't want to do that because it's Keenan Allen.
First of all, let's get that together. If we're really going to start talking about saving money, this ain't the conversation. The conversation is with Trent Williams and April 1st. So we're really talking about saving money. Mike Evans, $20 million a year is peanuts compared to the stuff that we got to handle on our roster. So really saving $15 million, all right, your essential $15 million where let's do it all your way. Let's see we get Keenan Allen for $5 million a year, right? And we save $15 million. Okay, cool. We still got dead money and a whole bunch of shit that we got to take on dealing with Trent getting his ass off the books and moving forward. So, bro, I think that they got cheaper at the position. They actually got a receiver in there. He's going to bring in continuity. I'm not thrilled by it. Like I said, I'm not over the moon. But as a stopgap, I'm not mad at this.
Listen, I'm not advocating for signing Keenan Allen, by the way. I'm just saying if you want to accomplish what you think this signing accomplishes.
There were better options.
There were better options. All the way down, like I said, same production, same age. Hell, they even wear the same number. All right? You could have felt even good about that.
You are just a curmudgeon, dude. You are so get off my lawn. Like, good Lord. It's like, we made a deal. Well, you could have made a better deal. That's basically what you're saying. The Niners found a deal at receiver, all right, a stopgap, somebody with continuity, and you're like, you know what? Why do this when you could have done something better? What the hell is wrong with them? Jesse, come on. They're at least shooting their azimuth in the right direction. Give them that.
I guess, man.
Man, let's look at some super chats, man. You're unreal. Nairwatt08, coach, any intel on the new offensive lineman that we signed? All right, so the Niners signed offensive lineman Viridian Lowe, initially drafted by the Minnesota Vikings. Where do we get him from, though? We got him from the Patriots. He essentially, I'm gonna save you all the details. He's a swing tackle. Really spent a lot of time at left tackle. Started 14 games in 2024 at left tackle. Played both sides in a backup role in New England for 17 games. He started 4 games last season. So the Niners are just bringing in depth. I think he's a solid depth piece, and hopefully not a stopgap between whatever they got going on with Trent. So that's basically what the Niners signed in offensive tackle Viridian Lowe. He's 6'5", 315. He's 26 years old. Good age. 26 years old. So any comments on Viridian Lowe?
I don't know much about him. All I know is that the Patriots had an awful offensive line and he wasn't a starter on it. So probably not the best signing. I'm just saying.
Man, how do you? For the record, guys, contrary to belief, Jesse lives in Florida and it's still the Sunshine State with him as a resident. So that's an act of God right now. Dazza 0187. Instead of spending money on an aging vet, I'd rather see the money go to a good young player like Clavon Chasen if the Pats don't resign him, or spend money on a good offensive line player. I get that.
Yeah, for sure.
And they could have done. There are so many other options that the Niners could have went that would have been better than Mike Evans. But at the same time, I'm still not mad at the Mike Evans acquisition for the money. We get cheaper, and I've already gone there.
Listen, you don't have to bring up the comment, but Brady's breaks, bro, literally this morning. So I don't know what to tell you, brother. But it ain't that. I'm just telling you how it is. Nobody can refute what I'm actually saying. You guys want to get personal in the comments and talk your little shit, but nobody is actually refuting what I'm saying. And this is not towards you, Coach, but when an argument is won, it's when people go low and they get personal because they cannot attack the actual take. They just don't like what you're saying or how you're saying it. So then they get upset and they throw their little personal jabs. So you can do that all you want, but the reality is not a single person in here has actually refuted with evidence what I said, especially when it comes to Keenan Allen and Mike Evans. Go look at the numbers, go look at the averages, go look at what they're getting paid at this stage in their career. Very, very similar. One is a hell of a lot less expensive. I'm not advocating for signing either one of them, but if you wanted to accomplish a veteran who can bring leadership at a fraction of the cost, you could have gotten a Keenan Allen. That's all I'm saying.
Man, let's move on, bro. I want to get at you so bad because you're talking about me. You trying to act like you ain't talking about me, but you're slipping in some subliminals, dog. I say, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. What you're doing right now is you are ignoring the nuance of this topic and you're holding on to the binary, which is the numbers, because the numbers are dead, they're statistical, and all you have found, my friend, is a comp. So you found a comp for Mike Evans that's cheaper, but you still cannot get over the fact that Mike Evans is a cheaper option at X that we have. He still is a better option than what we had as far as talent at X. And if he's healthy, he helps us.
Okay. I guess we'll see. Listen.
All right.
I love Mike Evans, dude. I live in Tampa. Can go all over my timeline is like Mike Evans love for the last 3, 4, 5 years. It's there to be found. It's just at the stage where he's at versus where this team is at. I feel like those two things don't line up. That's all I'm saying.
All right. I get that. So let's go to some more comments. Hannibal is wilding out. KFW 9257. He's big, dependable target until Kittle's back. I like it. Kenapa 22. Does Evans' role remind you of when we signed Garcon back then? It does a little bit. Pierre Garcon had a lot more juice though. He had a lot more to give than I would liken it more probably to
Anquan Bolden, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, let's hope it's not Randy Moss. All right, I'll just throw that out there.
Look, but that's what I said. Just like all of the early, you have to talk about all of the vulnerabilities first. I get it, but once the ball is rolled out, we're going to be rooting our asses off for Mike Evans, right, to perform. So, look, I can't force them into the perfect move, right? That's why the perfect move feels so good when they do exactly what you would have done. But if they are in the same, we're in the same swim lane as far as I'm concerned, because this is what I would have done. I would have gone out. I did not want a receiver in this year's draft. Thank God. This is what I love about this. This completely eradicates the chances of Kyle drafting a receiver in the first round, us going to go get somebody, because I don't have faith in any of these rookies on the top end of the receiver class. So we went out and we got somebody because it's not our time. It's okay to get a stopgap to come back to this when we can get to it the way we need to. Where if we go back into free agency with enough money, we can go get our X, right? All right. Or if we move on, we can go into the draft and go get our X. But for now, we didn't go get somebody else's work and pay him $30 million a year. We got ourselves a guy who knows how to play. He's looking for a new atmosphere, and he's got a shit ton of time on task to help us out. That's the way I'm looking at this. I understand that it's not the perfect move, but they're in the right direction. Juice Man Jeremy 2. Hey, Jesse and Coach, huge fan of both of you, but as a supporter, I have to disagree with the Mike Evans takes on Twitter. Yes, the injuries are concerning. However, he is better than Jennings and a great vet for the wide receivers. I agree that he's going to be a phenomenal vet for him. Sean's Cheaper, 6485, Isaiah, 53, Jesse, LOL, Grant's mad, our execs suck, Trent's gotta go, older than Biden, Cons, Kyle, Shanny builds offensive line like Mike, Shed, Fire, I can't even read this shit for that's guys Evans. I read this because you paid for it, but that's wild. Smells like foot in here. They should not be signing anyone older than 25. I want to rebuild straight up. In my opinion, it's not just about acquiring talent. It's about seeing if Kyle and Lynch can build a new team that I want, and I want to see it.
I agree.
And this was a salient point. I think that this kind of encapsulates a lot of your side of the argument, Jesse.
Yeah.
Javi Edequable, 3971. Seahawks and Rams quaking in their boots. Not. The Rams got better, boy.
Bro.
The Rams got better. Sean's Cheaper, 6485. 49ers got coached like Ian Rapp and D. Lombardi fixes it. Oh, my goodness. Joseph Unberg, 7381. In all honesty, this signing is a waste of money. Corey Wiggs, 4994. Can it have anything to do with the new OC? Whole Bucks offense was off.
Yeah, I don't think their OC was very good. I'll give you that. But I watched a lot of Mike Evans. I'll tell you, he didn't look the same last year. He just didn't. So we'll see. Hopefully it's because of what Coach said.
In your defense, when you do have phenomenal athletes, Hall of Fame guys, they don't gradually fall off. They fall off. It's overnight, right? So, there's no gradual version of Trent Williams just kind of being 70% in mid. You know what I mean? No, either he can do it, either he can touch on his superpowers and play the way he always has played for his entire life, or he can't, right? My only thing is that with receiver and with different positions like offensive line, having technique, knowing how to run routes, stride frequency, understanding how the balls are coming out from your quarterback, understanding the offense. It's just a different game where you don't necessarily have to have your tools that you had when you were a younger player when you're an older player, right? You can play that kind of YMCA game a little bit if you're a receiver, if you know how to get open. So, I mean, I'm excited to see how he plays, right?
Let me ask you a real quantitative question that we can actually use as a data point when the season runs its course.
Okay.
What
so we can
would
come
be
back
a
to this.
successful? Yeah, what would be a successful season for Mike Evans? Let's go step by step. How many games does Mike Evans need to play for you to feel good about it? Because he's probably not going to play all 17, and that's okay. We know that. 15, 14, 16.
I mean, yeah, I'm not, listen, he doesn't have a history of missing games. It just happened last year. Like, he plays.
Okay.
But let's season, game logs, career. Yeah, he plays, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's got over
in a row. He's missed at least. I mean, he missed 3 games 2 years ago, and he missed over half the season last year. Last season was an anomaly as far as for the most significant. But
yeah,
that's 2 years in a row now.
All right, so to get the analogy out, let's say 15 games, 2 games.
Okay, so 15 games. Okay, successful season. All right, as far as games played, how many yards do you need from Mike Evans to feel good about it?
I wouldn't be mad anything north of 750 yards.
Okay. So I think what I'm gathering, and I'm not going to knock you for this, I like that I've got kind of a data point of what you think is worth the signing. So you're saying 15 games, anything north of 750. I believe that the people in the chat who think that Mike Evans is still Mike Evans would expect more than that. And should, the way that they're puffing out their chests like I'm a fucking idiot. So I would be curious. I would be curious to see what everybody else considers a successful season. So in the chat, do me a favor. How many games played and how many yards for it to be a successful signing from the 49ers this season?
I'll set it up
with
now.
Mike Evans. Yeah, set it up. Just out of curiosity, I want to know what everybody else thinks. I think that's a fair expectation from your standpoint, and I think he can reach both of those milestones. I do.
Right. Can I tell you how I got there?
Yeah, please.
The leading true receiver on our team outside of Christian McCaffrey, because Christian McCaffrey had 924 for the year, is Juwan Jennings with 643. So basically, I tacked on roughly 100 yards more than what Juwan Jennings gave us for the year. And Juwan played 15 games last year.
Okay. So most people, by the way, are expecting 900 to 1,100 yards. If that's what you're expecting from Mike Evans, I think you're going to be disappointed.
But see, the context matters, Jesse, because if Mike Evans plays 15 games and he's only got 700 and he finishes off with 750 yards receiving, and let's say he's got 8 tuds for the year, right? 8 touchdowns. If we're having a winning season, right? Do you know what that means? That means that Ricky Pearsall, Jordan Watkins, or Jacob Cowing has emerged as another receiver who's taking over the brunt of those yards. And that means that you're getting what you want. You're getting what you want, the development of these guys. And if that has to happen on the 33-year-old back of Mike Evans, so be it. Because while you're talking about us gaining young players to help stave off us being horrible as a team, we still have guys that we don't even have playing yet, that we don't even know what they are. So if Mike Evans has got to be the X, if Mike Evans has got to finally be healthy just for this 1 to 2 years, and he goes and gives us 800 yards a season, and we don't win the Super Bowl, but he's available. But at the same time, Ricky Pearsall finds to get his best 2 years out of him, and we find a role for Jordan Watkins, then so be it. So be it. And guess what? When we get rid of him, we won't have to ask for another veteran on the team because we'll have the young guys who are veterans themselves. That's the way it works.
I agree with that. I got to address 2 things real quick. Someone says you have all the data. You say you have all these data points, but last year's the only year you can point to. He's a 1,000-yard machine. Okay, that's true. Except for 2 years ago when he was 31, he had 1,004 yards, just barely, and they force fed him to make sure he got over that 1,000. They basically made it happen. I know, I watched. They force fed him at the end of the season to make sure that he broke that 1,000 to keep his streak alive. That's number one. And number two, he barely did that at 31 years old, and then at 32 was well short because of injury, and still would have been well short even if he played 17 games at the production he had had. So that's great, but the most recent data is the most important data because he's aging. That's number one. And then somebody else said, nobody in here is expecting 1,100 yards, except for there was at least 3 people that expected 1,100 yards, and it's in the chat. So I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know, man. I just look. I'm not expecting. Like I said 750.
That's fair.
I'm not.
I think that's fair. And I actually think 15. What did you say? 14 or 15? I don't remember. 15, 14.
15 games. 15 games.
Okay, 15 and 750. I think that's fair expectations. I do. I just think that most people that love this signing do expect more than that, regardless of whether the number is 1,100 or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's true too. There was a comment from Dazzle. Why do we need 32-year-old receivers to help improve other receivers? Isn't that what you have coaches for? Yeah, that's like. But at the same time, it's like, look, guys. Forgive me for being the stupid dude who just knows ball, bruh. Like. That's like saying, what was Richard Sherman here for? Or why did we go get why would we go get Emmanuel Sanders? Like, stop it. Before we get to the X's and O's and the numbers and the stats, these guys are human beings. All right? You need somebody in there to pace the group. You can't just have a team that's too young, because then you're not going to have any veteran leadership. What I'm saying is that for you to say that, but not look at the fact that in the receiving room, we have had a lot of turmoil and turnover, okay? We've had 2 of our best receivers gone, all right? One guy got shipped out. Another guy went, state's witness on us. BA's all over the place. And then our rookie got shot. You know what I'm saying? We've gone through a lot. We need a little bit of normalcy, all right? Don't you work in the office? Don't you just want things to be the same once in a while? All right, let's get back to these supers, man. I lost track. We saw that one. All right, here we go. We saw that one.
Oh, maybe not. Yeah, I thought so.
Let's just do it anyway. I don't want to miss. That's why I'm going through meticulously, guys. I don't want to miss anybody's chat. You guys paid for this. Daza 0187, instead of bringing in aging vets, bridge players, or patch holes to delay the inevitable, rip the Band-Aid off like the Rams did and then rebuild. I think, in a sense, they are ripping the Band-Aid off. The whole Trent situation is going to let me know whether or not they ripped the Band-Aid off, quite frankly. What's your take on that?
Go back to it one more time. Let me reread it. Instead of bringing in average players, passion holes delayed at the end of it. Yeah, listen, I've been talking about how they should rebuild for 3 off seasons now. So yeah, I completely agree with that. And that's why I said it's yeah, yes.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
I'm ready.
Yes, of course. Yes,
I'm ready.
Yes, you cannot continue to cater to Trent Williams at 38 years old. It's time. It's time.
Well, let me fix that. Well, let me change my language. Let me just push back on that. They're not catering to him. He's exercising his right as a player.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like there is no catering.
But that doesn't mean that you have to acquiesce. Like the 49ers have 3 options.
True,
right
yes.
Now, okay? They can move on from him either through trade or cutting him. They can let him play on his current deal and say, we don't care. Go ahead and miss training camp. We'll see you week 1 because we know you're not going to miss out on any money. Or you can retire. Either way, we save the money. Go ahead. Or they can cave in and they can pay him and rework his deal. That's the only option I'm not okay with. If they trade him, cut him, or make him play out his current deal, I'm fine with any of those options. But they cannot continue to rework his deal every couple years because he starts barking up that tree. He's 38 years old. It's time to actually put your foot down and deal with it as is. You cannot acquiesce and give him an extension to kick the can down the road on money. That to me does not make any sense.
I understand. For me, I just, there's a little bit of irony that you'd be willing to take the dead money from Trent Williams, but you tripping over the $20 million that we signed with Mike Evans.
Do what now? Sorry.
I said it's kind of funny that you wouldn't mind taking on the dead cap money from cutting to Trent Williams, but you tripping over the little $20 million that we give him Mike Evans.
No, because they don't contradict each other. My point is that no, Trent Williams, it's all about age, brother. It's all about age. Trent Williams is older. He's not going to be here when the 49ers are shooting for a Super Bowl. So if you can get something for him now, do that while you can and move on from him.
No, I'm talking about cutting him.
Be here.
I'm talking about cutting him.
Then cut him. I don't care. Either way, he's not going to be a part of this roster. If you can free up that money now and then take the cap hit and be over it by next year, yeah, do that, of course.
I wouldn't cut him. I'd trade him. I would trade him. For sure.
That's ideal.
Yeah.
That's ideal.
They better do it now while the market is hot as well.
I don't care what they do, but do not pay him is my whole point. That's what you cannot do.
Travis Smith, 5142. Jess, you're becoming unwatchable, man. Stop it, guys.
Then don't fucking watch. Don't watch.
Stop it.
Then don't watch.
Talk your shit, Jess. Talk your shit.
I'm going to have my opinion. I don't care. Don't watch.
Talk your shit, Jess.
Listen, this isn't an airplane. You don't have to make an announcement on your way out, brother.
Just roll out. Just roll out. You got me over here fucking shit up. Just roll out. Willie Reynolds, 6441. Trade Brock, Trent, Fred, Bosa, cut Juice, trade for Carter, sign Hendrickson, extend Mac, picks received would help put a competent team on the field. He wrote this comment with a PS5 controller. Jesus Christ. Jose Chavez, 8120. Allen is not the same as Mike Evans. Stop comparing. I don't know if he thinks he's better or he's not.
No, he's saying that Mike. Listen, I'm not talking about their careers. I'm saying at this stage, they are the same age with the same production. They wear the same number. One is a fraction of the price of the other. So even if it's a slight difference and you want to give the favorite to Mike Evans, we can do that. But at a fourth of the price and half the years, I'll take Keenan Allen. If we need a veteran in the room is what I'm saying. I wouldn't have signed either one, but that's just me.
Fair point. Swift Gotti 25. Why do we keep paying for old injured players? Wow. It's the Niner way, baby. Joseph Bloomberg, 7381. If we wanted to spend, why not just Alec Pierce?
Yeah, listen, I would have been. I'd have been a lot more angry right now if Alec Pierce was on this team for 5 years, 150 million or whatever that, $30 million a year. Absolutely not. Give me listen, Mike Evans signing. If we're comparing, I'm way happier about a Mike Evans signing than I would have been an Alec Pierce.
It could be worse. That's all. It could be worse. I think this comment is just highlighting it could be worse. All right. I agree with that. LD Goose 499. Jesse, are you not factoring in Baker being terrible in the second half of the season? Are you not, Jesse?
Oh no, let's actually talk about that. I'm glad that you asked. Let's talk
get
about
to it.
So
I'm bringing up the stats.
The very first game without Mike Evans was against Seattle on the road, where Baker Mayfield went 29 to 33, 88% completion, 379 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And he did struggle down the stretch, I agree. But all 4 of those games down the stretch had guess who in the lineup? Mike Evans. So I don't know what to tell you.
That's a what came first, the chicken or the egg scenario.
And also, let's not forget, if you go look at it wasn't just Mike Evans. Godwin missed a big chunk of the season. McMillan missed most of the season. Egbuka missed a couple games during the season. Who's their running back from Oregon? God, why am I drawing a blank?
Bucky Irving.
He's hella good. Bucky Irving missed a big chunk of the season. Cade Otton missed time. Tristan Wirfs missed time. It was not just a Mike Evans. That whole offense missed a ton of time throughout the season. A ton of time.
But yet you only looking at Mike Evans' production though. You just said everybody just missed time, but you want to sit here and act like Mike Evans. All right, bro. You know what?
Is Mike Evans going to have an Egbuka next to him this year? Or a Godwin or a Tristan Wirfs or a Bucky Irving? Like, no, he's not going to have those guys next to him. So
we'll see, man. We'll see. You know, and I'm so glad we did not talk about this. I wanted to call you as soon as this happened.
I know. But I hope that Mike Evans balls out, because I actually really do like Mike Evans. I really do. Like, I would love nothing more than for Mike Evans to have another 1,000-yard season and be like, see, I told you he's top 10 all time. Like, I do. Like, Mike Evans is a really good dude. Like, there is no refuting that he's going to be awesome for the community. He's going to be awesome for the locker room. He's a true vet. Like, he's an amazing person and an amazing player. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. I love Mike Evans. I just think for this team, where they are at in the stage of trying to win a Super Bowl and where Mike Evans is at in his career, I just don't think those two things line up. That is all.
All right, bro. All right, where he's at in his career. Okay. Rude Boy 1220. Did Allen have 11 years of 1,000+ yards? No, he did not. Keenan Allen.
No, but we're not comparing careers. We're comparing today.
Where they are right now in their careers.
We got to stop comparing careers.
Corey Wiggs, 499 for. So last year, Devontae Adams, coming off injury last year, was 2 years, $44 million, and 32 years old. Who complains about that now?
He was how old last year?
32 years old.
He was I think
that's what he's saying. Hold on. That's what the chat is saying. Hold on.
Right. But Devontae Adams also only had 789 yards last year. Now, he had a hella touchdowns. Listen, if Mike Evans goes and gets us
He was cold in the red zone. Why are you acting like
if he goes and gets us 14 touchdowns, then let's talk about it. Like, I don't care how many yards Evans gets. If Evans has 353 yards and gets us 14 touchdowns, then it's a successful season.
So why are you faking like that can't be a possibility, though?
I guess it could be. I mean, has he ever had 14 touchdowns? Mike Evans has had a hell of a career. I don't know that he's ever even had 14 touchdowns. I think he's had
I don't think he's had
14.
14.
I think he's had 13 in his career for a season. No, he did. He had 14. He had 14 once.
So that's what I'm saying, though, Jesse.
28
like,
years old.
Why? Let me ask this. This is what's crazy about this debate is that you actually understand what I'm saying, right? Mm-hmm. You're just prioritizing a different side of the debate, right? Different points that you believe take priority over my points. Mm-hmm. My main question to you is, why does that, is the fact that Mike Evans, even if his numbers don't turn out, like you just said, and he could be a viable threat in the red zone, like, why isn't that something that could be realistic, or is that just like a crapshoot in your mind? Like, that's a pipe dream?
No. I think two things can be true at the same time, though, Coach. I think Mike Evans can have a successful season, and I still wouldn't necessarily be the biggest fan of the signing because it's not about 2026. How many times have you heard me say it's not about 2026? It's about 2027 and beyond. So,
yeah, I know you say that, Jesse, but we still need an X. Like, sometimes you gotta take 2 steps back to get 10 steps forward, man. You gotta. One of our biggest problems is that we haven't taken a step back and realized that we're not as competitive as we think we are, and we need to get the players to be able to help out our team so we can build from within. We don't have depth, Jesse. We need to go get rookies. All right, we need to learn how to draft.
For sure.
Okay.
So signing aging veterans who are going to take priority over any young player you would get anyways doesn't make a lot of sense. That's
Jesse. I also highlighted the fact that this year's receiving class is not worth spending picks on, especially in the top part of the class, in the top end of the class rather. So I see why they did this. It's like, dude, we're not going to go get them. Oh, there's nothing in the draft that we could possibly say is going to be ready to be our X by week 1. And we're not going to spend any big time assets early in the draft to go do that. KC Concepcion is not going to be our X. That ain't happening. Like, come on, bro.
I don't care about week 1, 2026, though. That's what you don't understand. I could give 2 rips about week 1, 2026. Can I go get a guy, or can I try to see if I have a guy that is going to be my ex in 2 years from now when I'm trying to win, because Mike Evans stops me from developing anybody truly.
Okay, so what if all right, so the receiving class, the free agent receiving class that we had this season, what if the Niners felt as though that there was nothing out there that they were willing to go for? We still don't know what Romeo Doubs got signed for. We don't know what he's asking for.
No, we don't.
Right?
And I don't. But yeah, and Romeo Doubs isn't like some like amazing receiver, but like I could see a scenario where Romeo Doubs is helping this team in 2 years. Right?
Okay,
even
but I
as
also
like a number 2 if Ricky Pearsall doesn't pan out.
I also see where they kept their money where their mouth is too, because they also paid Mike Williams less than every receiver that is asked for money here. You know, so they're staying on par with what they're willing to do. Also, we didn't cover this as well. This is also kind of like the new shift in the regime with Parag running things as well. So we don't know how far the purse strings go with them being able to go in free agency and make deals now. We don't know that. That's a real take that you have to like consider.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, let's get into another super chat. Justin 111, Evans, Pearsall, and Omar Cooper Jr. moves me. Omar Cooper Jr. is not going to be there at 27. Joseph Woonberg 7381. Hope Kyle Shanahan trades up for Love just for the content. Jose Chavez 8121. We shouldn't expect a 1,000-yard season from Evans. This team each game has always had different receivers taking over week by week. Niners just need one consistent. That's true. That's true. That is so true. We went through we won 12 games playing musical chairs at receiver. Like, we need somebody to actually come in and take over that spot and be consistent for us. If he's healthy, Jesse, that's also something else that we get that we didn't see last year while we won 12 games. What do you got to say to that, negative fan?
If he's healthy, positive fan.
I love you, bro. 49er Frank, love Allen, but he's not an X. Evans new AAV is 23rd amongst all wide receivers. How many on that list beat a healthy Evans? Would you pay JJ the same money?
I wouldn't pay JJ. And again, how many beat a healthy Evans who isn't a 33-year-old version of himself? Yeah, there's not a lot, but we're talking, this is Mike Evans by name, not Mike Evans by in his prime. There are 23 receivers easily I take over Mike Evans at this stage in his career.
Okay, that's fair. Let me ask you this. If Mike Evans was healthy, all right, and I'm not even going to be unfair to say that, like, okay, he still was himself and got 1,000 yards. But let's go with half of your debate. Let's say that he was healthy, but he's aging. So it's clear that he's aging. There's no injury, all right? The numbers are going down. And his numbers were 15 games, 750 yards, and the Niners signed him. How would you feel about it?
Not great. I mean,
but you just said you would be okay with those numbers, though.
No, I'm saying based off of what you're, because you, no. I did not say that. I said, I think that's fair expectations for Mike Evans.
Fair expectations.
So
okay.
I think your expectations are fair. I'm not saying that that's ideal. Like, that's not a number one wide receiver in this league by any stretch of the imagination.
Okay, man.
And this guy says 23rd among receivers. I mean, 750 yards is not, there's going to be a hell of a lot more than 23 guys that have that number. So,
but I mean, for context, though, we had a receiver that started 15 games and had 643 yards and was asking for $23 million.
Let's see what he actually signs for. Let's see what he actually signs for. Again, that you can ask. I want to ask for a lot of things, but what I actually get are two different things. So let's see what he actually signs for. Let's see what he actually signs for. I'm curious.
Let me ask you this. Is it safe to say that the money that Mike Evans got, Jawan Jennings still would have walked? That he wants more than what Mike Evans got?
Listen, I will say this. If their contracts are similar, give me Mike Evans. For sure.
Right. So,
is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Kind of feel like you just kind of came around. All right, Alex Maya, 5,300. Great show like always. 100. I'm hoping the return of Debo doesn't happen. Man.
For sure. I'd take a Mike Evans over a Debo.
I'll take Mike Evans. That's another thing. I mean, let's hope. Let's hope. Because right now, Debo's kind of on like a bag of chips and a ham sandwich status. Like, he could get picked up by anybody. Scuba Pat 199. Thanks, Scuba. If we move on from Trent, can we move on from Bosa? I'd love to move on from Nick Bosa.
Ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. LD Goose, you're right. He won't have those guys beside him, but he will have Kyle calling plays, not trying to attack you. No, nobody. We're not attacking.
I'm not taking an attack.
This is family, man. This is a family show.
That's true, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like Baker is tailor-made for his game. I'm curious to see what it looks like with Brock Purdy. I am.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think that Brock Purdy and Mike Evans red zone hookup. I like that combination, Jess. I like it. Dallas Cali. Mike Evans full contract details: 3-year, $42.4 million with $16.3 million guaranteed, with up to $60 million with incentives. A very good contract, in my opinion. I think it's a really good contract.
Yeah, I'm curious to see like what it is each year, and I'm curious to see when the out is after 2 years, what the dead money is.
There's probably out after one, Jess.
Yeah,
it's probably out after one, man.
But I want to know what the dead money is.
Yeah. Right, yeah, what we accrue if we let him go. Daza 0187, if Evans is healthy, he's never played next to a substation. Dimitar Dimitrov, 89-86. The way Purdy throws with anticipation, Evans is going to be absolutely deadly. We should still get Omar Cooper Jr. in my humble opinion. Hey man, that's the last of them. Jess, you know you're my brother, man.
Yeah, hey, of course.
Say something nice about Mike Evans.
I said a lot of nice about Mike. What are you talking about? Come on. I said a lot of nice about Mike Evans. I did.
You did. Hey, look, I love you, man. What you got for the rest of the week, man?
I don't know, bro. I've been so inconsistent. I don't know what to tell you. I'm coaching my son's football team. Work's getting crazy. I'm just living day by day, man.
Hey, man. Well, we got the neutral zone tomorrow with me and Chunder Boy, man. Hey, we had a great one. Niners sign on Mike Evans, man, and see what else we got cooking for the rest of free agency. Free agency actually kicks off at 4 p.m. on Wednesday, which is the 11th of March. So that's when things are really going to get spicy for us. And then also, we'll probably get a lot more news on Trent Williams. This is the coach signing off. Stay low and keep your feet moving. Peace, guys.